Alright, hello to all my guys, gals, and non-binary pals out there across the electrical ocean. This is Jazzman, and we are back! Oh, we are so back. Oh, it feels good to be back. Okay, so, first off, I owe a really big honto ni gomen nasai to all my longtime viewers who were eagerly clamoring for my return. I honestly, I did not mean to stop making videos, but basically the long and short of it is I've had some fairly serious client instability issues these last few months, basically going back all the way to last year. And it's only now that I'm getting around to finally poking Slugbait about it. I couldn't log on to the game very rapidly. Switching between lobbies was a pain. It made basically everything was very tedious, trying to just get in onto the client and play the game. And it wasn't a very fun experience, but thankfully, everything has been resolved. Everything is now speedy, and I'm looking forward to sliding back into this meta. See what's popping around here. Now, I haven't been completely out of it. I've been keeping up, slowly in the background, lurking on the Discord and keeping an eye on things from there. So I have a rough idea of where the meta is going. Gameplay-wise, I'm probably going to play like shit for quite some time, as is usual with getting back into this game. But let's worry about that later. That's a problem for future me to figure out. Today, we're going to be focusing on Reaper's problems as he plays full faction Yeti into Saforg, fellow commentator and owner of the channel. So I just chose this game because it was like 1 minute in already, and it seemed like a good starting point. But I'm wondering if he's actually recording this one himself. It would be interesting to see his perspective on things. He's playing SP, as is usual with him, and I think this is just meta, High-End Flame Fist, Caustic Slag. Kind of an interesting choice, but seems like a decent little ranged unit. Multi-1 now base. Ah, man, it's going to be hell trying to remember exactly all the little changes that have been taking place. But Crystal Spike on Tundra Yeti here. Provision offense. Okay, so this is one of the things. I know a lot of provision abilities have been spread around in the recent patches. Several themes have gotten a lot more equipment support. Yeti being one of them. It's funny that Yeti are getting the equip stuff when Lonks have traditionally been more equip-centric. I think there's stuff like Lonks Defender, which still has provision. But they're slated for a full rework of their theme in the next month or two, so we'll see where they end up. But yeah, Yeti Scout now has armaments, so a little bit of extra AP and damage on that Tundra Yeti. And see, with Provision Offense, that ends up being a lot of extra damage. Like if you're sitting on Snow for Arctic, and then you get the damage from Spikes, and armaments, and Chill 3 all at once, that's a huge wallop of damage on the first hit. And of course, any subsequent hits will get crushed for -3 defense. So a pretty good combo. He didn't used to be this expensive, did he? He used to be like mid-60s. So he was changed in some other ways. I don't think he used to have Resolute either, but here comes the Yeti Fang. We're going to see a attack on the retreated Caustic Slag for a kill. And much to the Flame Fist's dismay, he was not able to stem the tide and keep the Yeti sufficiently out of range. So Tundra Yeti's going to sit in this font, burn a little bit of extra AP on that Flame Fist coming in, and that globe is kind of in an awkward place now for Saforg to try and collect, because in order, he'd have to burn 2 AP just to grab it, and then waste the rest of his AP walking into the font. And then if Mika goes to grab it, she won't be able to, summon a Fesh. She'll be out of position for a Soothing Serenade, and, or a Heal Mass, but she doesn't need to Heal Mass just yet. So Saforg is going to go with the Gaharan Juggler. That is interesting. I mean, he's ranged. Got Overseer. Maybe he's running a few Moga in his deck. I think Moga Creeper is still pretty good. Moga Assault Team is solid. I know Moga Gaharan Helm was a problem for a while because it gave Surge. So I haven't seen. Wait, is this Shamans? No, you're a Rogue Warrior. Okay, never mind. Shaman decks tend to be very random with the champs that they play. But Mika, so he's running the limited edition version of Mika here. Oh yeah, that's another thing that's on the horizon that actually was supposed to be released this patch, but Slugbait had to put it off for a while. New limited edition runes. So we've got some golden sepia tone versions of champions coming out. There's the full list under the patch notes section on the main website, or you can access it through the Discord under the patch notes section. But each faction is going to have 2 new limited edition runes, and they're going to be the golden versions, like Skeletal Raider is or Executioner. And they're going to be available for a whopping, I think it's 50k gold. So players who have been sitting on a shit ton of gold for a while will finally have something to sink their wallets into. But this Fesh is most certainly dead here. He's only got 20 HP. Tundra Yeti will have to waste a single hit on it. Maybe 2 if he wants the Crystal Keeper of Memories to disengage, but instead he's going to use Breath of Lerusa and disengage for free because of the mobility. And Rebuke doing a little bit of damage here, nothing too crazy. Against ST, you can kind of justify the extra hits because you just have so much natural base HP. And I feel like, yeah, after the Abominable multi-attack reducing the AP cost, that is a dead Flame Fist. And so Yeti are looking pretty damn strong right now. So that was 2 spells down for Reaper, Call of the Tundra, and then the Breath of Lerusa. Breath of Lerusa is huge here because it also decreases the speed of these guys since they're on ice. And because of the Arctic buff, Domain is basically +3 damage from that, instead of like Macadamize, which is only +2. So we'll see what, I guess we'll see what Juggler does. It's funny, Grant Death Nova Fire, I guess you could use it with like a Crested Fesh that got summoned immediately, because it has initiative and you can blow them up right away. So you can make an attack and then, yeah, 3 AP to do that and then 2 AP to self-destruct. That's a decent chunk of damage. But you could run some fun stuff like Moga Sapper and then take the, you could take like Fire Volatility on him, because Death Nova is on, I think Death Nova is on that line, and Grant Death Nova, you wouldn't need it if you had Grant Death Nova around. So I don't know, SP, honestly I kind of been looking at SP Fire decks, like SPUD, of course, because they have the Moga Cannon and they have the new Cyclopolis Cannon with, I think it has Flame Charge now, or maybe it's, yeah, I think it does. And then they have some other stuff like Fire Bomber that also got buffed. So yeah, there's some stuff you could do there. And then of course the Grand Death Nova on something like a Fire Phoenix to blow itself up. But Reaper is pretty well in control of this game now. His champs are all relatively healthy. Cyclops Earthshaker being deployed up here, I guess to stop like a cheesy Gale Force font contest. But that will be another globe for Reaper. And so the Yeti Scout isn't too bad a combatant in himself. He's really cheap. Armaments is an amazing ability. I think he had his HP nerfed a little bit in this change, but he still has Pilfer, so he can like grab and equip. He does, and then gain some AP himself. So he grabs the Flag of Unification here, and then some Fuel Rage action going to go down. And Mika is going to be left at 10, but thankfully for Reaper, the Iron Will from that flag prevents the Abash. So down goes Mika, and basically Reaper has just got his 3 champs sitting here in mid, and Saforg will be hard-pressed to make a push for that font. Like, I guess he could run in and grab this globe with Juggler and contest for another turn, but I mean, that would literally just kill his Juggler for no reason. And, oh, what the hell? Where the fuck did you come from? Cyclops Lurker. Okay, so I didn't even realize he had this out. I was thinking things were looking pretty grim for Saforg, but he still had Lurker hiding somewhere with that Shadow Spawn. But so Reaper is going to put down the Grumble Rock after the Yeti Apostate comes charging back in for some reinforcements. Saforg not out of it yet. I guess, I mean, he can make a hit, I guess, with the Lurker, but Majestic 2 is really, really annoying, debuffing everybody. SP doesn't have any, like, spot relic removal the way something like FS does. So he's gonna have to work around that. Like, you could maybe go for a kill here on the Tundra Yeti, but you definitely need a spell, because Fesh can get a hit, and then Juggler can get a hit, and that's about it. I guess you could go in here for a hit with Crested Fesh, get an explosive attack for the knockback into the Fesh, and then maybe do like a boulder throw or something to get the kill. And then Fesh, I think, yeah, Fesh would have enough AP to grab the Tundra Yeti globe. But instead, Fesh is going to grab this globe. And Peaks Dow. Alright, so there's some initiative. Little glorious leap into the Tundra Yeti. And so yeah, this is the interesting thing about Constrict. It doesn't actually need to damage the champion in order to apply the effect. So Saforg going to be able to lock down that Keeper of Memories for a turn. Of course, ST being ST, they have a shit ton of ways to just negate that. They have Blinding Reflection, Cleansing Storm. I'm pretty sure Cleansing Emerald is half ST now. And then you also, if you wanted to be cheeky, you could do like the new Winter Shroud, which causes a miss on the next attack and spawns illusions. And the way the illusions tend to spawn with that spell now is that the target of the attack gets relocated one space like backwards, like it would go over here. So it would technically be like a release from the constriction. But I think so. Here, Reaper is probably just gonna deal with that lurker. I mean, he doesn't have any more equips to really throw around. He could put one on the Apostate, but with Grumble Rock around, if he does somehow cleanse his Keeper of Memories, you can actually charge with ranged units. Even though it's like they don't naturally have a melee attack, you can still charge with them. It's one of the reasons I used to like running what's it called, Glorious Charge in IS, so that if they engaged like my Dwarven Mortar crew or something, I could just use mobility and charge into them, and they wouldn't expect it. But Reaper, so that's an expensive disengage. I mean, I knew it was a possibility. It's just I didn't expect him to use that much Nora on it. I think he would have had the kill anyway. But burns the Gale Force to blow the Lurker out of position and free his Keeper. And kicks the turn back to Saforg. So I don't know. Reaper has been using a lot of spells and equips. I guess that's sort of the style nowadays. More on the equip and relic heavy side, as people tend to experiment. I think you can make a good argument that mid-range decks are still like the meta choice. But I feel like there's just so much good equipment synergy nowadays. If you're depending on what theme you're playing, like a lot of it's been really spread around. Like you could do fairies, pure equips, and just run the spell seal relic in KF. You could do aquatics. They were nerfed actually. The aquatic armaments had to be nerfed because they were just too good with the piranhids. Yeah, in SP you have Cyclops that can get away with just full equips, and the SP spell seal is actually runnable now. It's like really good for putting stuff on cooldown. And one thing that returning players might be pretty happy with is that the rune reveal changes did get reverted, or in a way. I mean, so how it works now is that you now get 6 rune reveals at the start of the game, and 2 rune reveals per turn. So less initially, and back to the old 2 per turn going forward. So things like Setback and Darkness and all that will probably be a lot more manageable now. And then of course, Shrine Scry is still around. And at less HP than it used to be. It used to be 7 or 8, but now it's at 6. And then Fortify making its triumphant return as well, foiling my Egg Bomb strategy for good. I mean, that's not true. I can still Egg Bomb. It's just another thing I got to play around. I'm sure nobody at all is happy with egg bombs being good, so that's fine. So Saforg is going to play Unstable Ground and get a sweep knockback onto that Tundra Yeti for a kill. That was pretty slick. It sort of cuts off the reinforcements of Apostate here. And then the Yeti Scout. So Saforg's champions, like he's still not out of it. Like I said, the thing with Reaper's champions is like Yetis don't really have healing if Curate's not out. And Reaper definitely doesn't have that. So his Keeper of Memories is going to be stuck on 30 HP for a while. And despite all the spells, Saforg has just been spamming deploys, which is usually the way you want to go with SP in situations like this. And one of the things about equipment decks, they sort of lack the gas in a longer game, because even despite the proliferation of stuff like Pilfer, once your champion is equipped, like there's not much you can do about it, you know? Like you can't really like get rid of the equip and play another one for a second proc of armaments. So there's sort of like a half-life on the power curve of equipment-based decks, whereas with spells, the only thing limiting them is Nora, which is true for equipment as well, but also cooldown. So that's, yeah. Normally equipment decks tend to run stuff like Armory to sort of play around that, or Craft, which has been a little bit more widespread. But Reaper going in with another Call of the Tundra here on the Pika's Tau, and unfortunately, is Reflexes 3 still an upgrade option? Either way, he's going down. He's gonna get walloped here by Yeti Scout. Oh no, it's not quite actually. He's 1 damage short of the kill because of that Hunter Walker. Damn, that's rough, buddy. So Reaper 50 Nora out. I think, does Call of the Tundra still refund after, like, based on the Yeti you have out? Still a lot of Nora to invest and not get the kill here. Because now, like, your Yeti Scout is extended, overextended, and new Earthshaker actually has 6 speed, so he'll be able to get a double tap on that Yeti Scout. Used to be that Earthshaker only had 5 speed, but here, like, he can get, I mean, I guess he could, even with 5 speed, he could get 1 power attack, which would have been good, but I think Saforg would definitely prefer the double hit, and then Gaharan, Juggler, still waiting for that Grant Death Nova on the Fesh here. But I think Fesh would probably prefer to grab the Globe just for some Nora, which he does. And then Juggler is hitting Keeper of Memories, and Dao is leaping in. Okay, so Saforg has eyed his target. He's definitely gunning for that Keeper. And then the Tectonic Pulse knocks him back through the unstable ground, leaving him on 2. Do the Grant Death Nova. Grant Death Nova on the Fesh, and then run in. Come on, because Self-Destruct, I think, is 2 AP? Yeah, there you go. Oh no, it's 3! No, he's 1 damage short. Oh, but he walks through the unstable ground and kills it. Good. Well done, Saforg. You got him. So it does leave the Globe, I guess, for Reaper if he... well, actually, his apostate isn't on snow, so he can't disengage. But I mean, that Globe is technically in Reaper's territory. Like, you could just deploy another, like, initiative champ or something and grab it. But Reaper takes the Dao down in exchange, and then grabs both Globes. So, I mean, I guess you could say Reaper came out ahead of that, especially since since Saforg left his font wide open to contest. Luckily, he does have the banner there, but that Scout being in the font is going to force the Earthshaker back. I think the game, like, right now it's sort of stabilized. Reaper has reinforcements coming and is probably a little bit ahead on Nora after those Globe grabs, but with the SP refund on the Dao death, it's probably still in Reaper's favor. But Earthshaker here is going to Crushing Charge back into that font, followed up with a power attack, and that's a good position on the Earthshaker because it blocks the Scout from going deeper into the font and, you know, dancing around and abusing Earthshaker's fattiness to his advantage. So he's going to have to spend like 3 MP to disengage here before he moves around again. Because this space here is impassable. I'm like 90% sure it's impassable. Oh my god, I'm wrong. Okay, well, this space, are you kidding me? Why is this space not impassable? Like, look at this. This is clearly a piece of wall terrain. Like, come on, man. You make these spaces impassable, but not this one? That makes no sense. Okay, well, Yeti Scout is going to escape due to terrain restrictions. And Earthshaker is going to have to chase him down. Power attack again. And now that's probably the last attack he's going to get for a while, because Yeti Scout's going to run back here, and then Earthshaker is going to have to chase him. But Saforg just keeping on the deploy train. And there's the Curate for some healing. So a Yeti Ice Lord looking hella beefy. Holy shit. 70 HP with that equipment boon. And so yeah, equipment boon is another change. This seems like a really volatile ability now. 2 max HP may not seem like much, but if you're running, it counts opposing equipments as well as your own. So you could get some pretty gnarly HP numbers, like especially in ST, if you're just like spamming equips, and then the damage on top of that with stuff like armaments can get pretty crazy. I find it funny that Magnipede in SL has both the new equipment boon and Surge equipped. Like, you can take both abilities, which is literally plus 2 damage for every equipment, and he has Split on base. So all the splits get that damage buff as well. I'm waiting for someone to abuse that. Luckily, SL equipment decks tend to focus more on Skizik or Draxar than Arthropods. But one of these days, some creative soul will break that deck. And Saforg having to crack the earth to prevent the Yeti Scout's escape. I mean, so crack the earth is what, 30 Nora? Yeti Scout has already taken 2 turns from the font. I mean, it basically guarantees the kill here. But it still sucks having to use the spell just because Earthshaker is a fatty and can't get around the font. So Yeti Scout is pretty much screwed. Yeti Ice Lord, on the other hand, is eyeing up that Juggler, who probably should have retreated at like one more space this way, just so that he couldn't get double charged here. Because Yeti Apostate, I think Apostate's going to come in and Fuel Rage again. Oh, wait a minute, he has 1-2 range? Oh, come on. Okay, so I don't like the some of the range changes. Like, I know he's a big guy, but I miss the old days where champions were melee. They didn't have such versatile ranges. So Yeti Scout getting one last bop on the Earthshaker before he bites the big one. Well, I guess I'll get one more after this, but Earthshakers toughen it out. And did Firecase move last turn? I don't think he did. I would have moved a little further in just to maybe like get in this Curate's face or something. Yeah, 71 HP on the Ice Lord with a Snowdrift Charm there too. So Gaharan Juggler is looking a little worse for wear. I think does he have Tremor? No, he has Stone Bomb. So he can like Stone Bomb the Apostate away, and maybe retreat with his Juggler. Juggler is melee now after making 4 attacks. Saforg still scrying down to 45 HP, and Reaper's a little more conservative with 57. Did any Snow Shroud go down? Nope. Okay. So, I mean, Saforg could maybe get a kill here. You can get a Flame Nova Aura combo for some damage. And then Juggler can get... Oh, he could get some knockback damage with Explosive Attack. Which one? Oh, yeah, no, never mind. He did Horrific Howl. I thought for a second the Ice Lord had Horrific Howl, but no, it's the Apostate. Wait, he can... Wait, why is he still attacking? Why are you... wait a minute. Is he not frightened by the Apostate? Horrific Howl, frightened. What am I missing? I know I've been out of the game for a while, but I'm pretty sure frightened should have prevented Explosive Attack there. There's no, like, Iron Will or anything. No Fearless. Alright, well, I guess Apostate is down to 1, and will die to the Aura. Somehow. And, Earthshaker is taking that font back. It's not Abominable, because Abominable only frightens if they were stealthed, and Gaharan Juggler was not stealthed. Okay, well, that's two more Nora Globes for Reaper, regardless. Reaper is kind of winning the grind game here just because of the globe grabs. Because that was like 20-25 Nora in those globes. Keeping up with the deploys. And then Grumble Rock on 9. I mean, Firecase versus Ice Lord in mid isn't much of a matchup. If I were Saforg, I'd maybe look to stall for a bit, get that as that Firecase moves towards maybe this font for a contest. I don't know. Get that Earthshaker in mid instead. Then the Hurler with the Bop, making a bunch of snow. So that snow is really going to impede the reinforcements from coming in here. Thunder Elemental being deployed on the globe. I guess that's fine. Like, it wastes a little bit of AP, but the Nora here is probably more important because you already have the champ chilling in mid. And the Tectonic Pulse, ooh, it's gonna, well, normally that would prevent a disengage, but Firecase now has retreat. So you can just leap. See, this is the thing though, like, Ice Lord would normally be screwed by the Firecase retreating to like over here, but because it has a 1-2 range, it doesn't even matter. Like, you can be hit over the font. I don't like how the 1-2 or 1-3 range changes sort of negate the value of trying to outposition your opponent. Because, like, in this situation, like, you'd be able to take advantage of the 2x2. But here, like, you really can't. I think even if the Ice Lord had 1-2 had 1 range, you would have been able to get 2 hits anyway, because Saforg kind of positioned that Firecase poorly, in my opinion. There's really no safe place in this font because of Fuel Rage, but it's just, I think I would have maybe preferred it sit over here. Because now once the lava spawns, that one tile of lava here is probably going to mess up your Earthshaker coming in at some point. But 15 damage, damn, Abominable is so fucking strong. 1 damage, like, it got nerfed like 3 times, and Yeti are still owning it. Yeah, Reaper actually taking the fire damage explosion on his Ice Lord there, and Crumble Rock down to 1. Hilariously, the lava doesn't actually kill it this turn because of the snow from the ST font. Yeah, Reaper's champions very, very strong in the offensive department. And a second scout coming in for more armaments. Now, Stone Bomb does go through reflexes and evasive here, so maybe I think Reaper was a little bit premature in putting that up. Like, there was no danger from the Earthshaker this turn or the Thunder Elemental. You're basically just dampening the damage of one hurler hit. But I think he's probably thinking like, oh, I want to get the... no, wait, he already has max stacks. I guess that third one that Snow Shroud gave him the third proc. Yeah, like here the hurler has to contest. Unless, like, Saforg wants to abandon the fawn. Or maybe he has another lurker out that I just haven't been paying attention to. Shadow Spawn it was fixed to give a proper animation on deploy now. Okay, but instead Saforg is going to drop a relic in that font. Head Shrinker's totem is pretty neat, actually. Shrinking Gaze is a very strong debuff. And the totem itself is one of the tankier relics in the game, surprisingly. 1 defense, 25 HP on it. So, very hard to deal with for melee champs. Because they approach and they just get shrunken, and you're going to take an extra couple hits to take that thing out. Yeah, Thunder Elemental currently waiting on Sonic Surge, and Sonic Surge is pretty good at dealing against a 2x2 like this Ice Lord is. Okay, yes, tough one, so no resilient. Yeah, like against a 2x2, you waste less AP walking back and forth than you would against a 1x1. So you can get the maximum damage off easier. And Saforg, like, he has Sonic Aura, he's got some stuff. He's got options going on. He doesn't have to fight as directly as Reaper does now. But with all the AP gen Reaper has access to, like, Fuel Rage is so incredibly strong. Yeah, it's probably a good thing that Kanan aren't as strong a deck as they could be. Just because the constant Fuel Rage spam and free attacks you can get from their champions are kind of nutty, in my opinion. But Reaper wins back that font through the power of magic and friendship. And yeah, kind of just daring Saforg to contest here, because he's got all the AP in the world, he has all the damage in the world, and probably going to come out as the winner of this game. Saforg hasn't really been able to capitalize on his meager gains. I mean, Hurler is a pretty strong offensive ranged unit, but he's slow. And slow is generally not good in this game right now. Yeah, this is another little interesting thing Slug added just this patch. So you have your AP costs down here, and then you have the anime, like the key binds for your abilities that you can press. So auto attack is always going to be A, second ability is always 2, third ability is always 3, and so on. So it'll show what numbers you got to press to get your abilities working now. Because before it was just like you had to figure that out intuitively, and I mean it's just a small thing, but small things like this do tend to add up, like to snowball into a better UI design overall. So that hurler is dead. Yeah, that hurler is very dead. Holy shit, is it ever dead? Unless, Reaper's eyeing something else? What is he going for? That hurler is probably a good target. I mean, Hunter Walker and 50 HP ain't shit compared to Yeti Ice Lord. Where is he going? Is he going for the Flame Fist? No, he's going for the Thunder Elemental. Huh. Oh, but the Rock Trap. Damn! Alright. Predicted. So Yeti Ice Lord gets knocked back. He didn't even do the charge damage. Like, he didn't even connect. He just got thrown back by the Rock Trap. Wasted the AP and the ability. So, Reaper panic deploying a Yeti Apostate to get some reinforcements in there. And then that was basically the end of his turn. And unfortunately now, though, because of Snow Breach, the Thunder Elemental is pretty hampered in his Sonic Surging. You need, Saforg needs some kind of terrain overwrite, which I don't think SP has, on demand. They have, like, unstable ground doesn't count because it's not terrain. So I think Saforg here is probably just going to go for a knockback strategy with that unstable ground cast. Probably a Tectonic Pulse, maybe Crushing Charge into the font. But yeah, definitely a Tremor. And then maybe even another Tremor. Yeah, another Tremor into the font and the unstable ground. And since Tremor is not on the attack chain, he will have enough for a bop as well. But Snow Shroud, ooh yeah, Snow Shroud kind of making a mess of his plans right now. Does he have I think Tectonic Pulse is off cooldown. It's only 3 now. It used to be 4. Same with Crushing Charge, I believe. But I mean, like if Saforg doesn't get this Yeti Ice Lord kill, it's probably GG. Like the Rock Drop was a nice play, but he needs this kill. Ice Lord down to 12. Oh, he knocked him out of Flame Fist attack range. Like another spell, like maybe like a Boulder Throw would do it. Lightning Storm. Would not do it actually because of wait, Magic Aura? Why does that say Magic Aura? So well, this ability is tough 1. So yeah, Lumbering. I think the order of abilities is messed up here on the UI. Probably because there's just so goddamn many of them. Like look at this fucking scroll bar. Look at this. There's got to be a better way to organize this so that all the abilities show up properly. Okay, so I have an idea. How about we just stop giving champions so many abilities? Maybe. That could be an option too. But what was that equip? Ball and Chain onto Yeti Apostate. Ironically, feeding the Yeti Ice Lord some more HP. But yeah, this is just going to be cleanup time for Reaper. Yeti Sorcerer going to get a double hit. An Abominable everywhere. And I would say, yeah, the Hurler is dead. Probably the Thunder Elemental as well. And I think the Ball and Chain was just kind of a panic move by Saforg since the Apostate already had Lumbering from Tremor. And Earthbound doesn't actually do anything versus Yeti, so it's going to be a double hit onto Hurler, and yep, Reaper just has his pick of the litter here with regards to kills. Perfect kill on that Hurler. And then can even grab the Globe because of Domain Arctic on that Conqueror if he wants. Yeah, so what I mentioned earlier about unstable ground not being countered as terrain, so visually it looks like the Breath of Lyrissa has covered it up, but the champions are still taking damage as they walk over it, and Saforg surrenders that one in favor of Reaper. So well played to both, and we'll see everyone in the next one.